My name is Nipper Appleton. I'm here at the Kings Lynn Mart, the 818th Mart that has just opened on the 14th of February, and things went very well with the opening. A lot of people came to hear the proclamation read and the tradition of the Mart, and things are going well at the moment. Business is a little sluggish, but I'm sure we will survive and things will pick up eventually. We've had a busy time myself here because this year I am the senior steward. My good friend Donald Gray stepped down, so I came in place and took over from him. Everything's gone very smoothly at the moment, so there's no issues and problems. We work well with the local authorities to keep this ancient tradition alive for fellow showmen who generations of their showmen's families have been coming here. Myself and my family through generations. I'm 80 years of age now, and I've been coming here all my life to the Mart. Always looked forward to it as a teenager and a young person, and I still do, because the Mart holds a special place for showmen, being the first Royal Chartered Fair in the country and the gathering of our people and showmen from across the country. It's always a sociable kind of event as well, and with the traditional opening and the luncheon and things, it makes it that little bit special. So we're always looking forward to it each year, you know, when it comes around. We're pulling on Kings Lynn now, we're pulling on Kings Lynn. It's, you know, it's time to get going and see how business goes, because from many years in the past now, Kings Lynn's been like a guideline. If they always ring you up, which I've had phone calls myself, how's the Mart been? On a guideline, if the Mart is very good or successful, you know, they think the following year will be the same. So it's a guideline of what might happen in the industry across the summer season, you know. So, but sometimes it doesn't always work that way, you know, because Mother Nature can intervene. Like last year at the Mart here, we had some very strong winds and weather, which we had to shut down for a couple of days, so that would affect people's finances, because you lose time open. So, you know, it makes a difference to, you know, what you might earn out of the Mart when that kind of situation arrives. I do still travel. I travel around this area a little bit, and I go to London for some events. But for myself now, I travel down the West Country quite a lot, which I quite enjoy. Some of the big fairs down there where I travel and go to. I've got a lot of good friends in that area, so I always look forward to the West Country. I have about 3 months down there myself, and then I head back on home here for November for the firework displays and things in the area. We pack up the big stuff and usually go around the Christmas light-ups. You know, we take a bit of children's stuff locally around the area and do those, and it's Father Christmas time then. So, you know, then we have only a short period, a few weeks, like my family and things were living near the yard. They're getting the stuff ready for the testing and getting it all ready. We've only got like 5-6 weeks, and it's time to pull back on Kings Lynn. So what we do, we start maintenance at home and get the engineers in and get everything examined, because before we can open, you have to submit all your paperwork, you know, insurances and all the safety aspects. And this year, being the senior steward, I had to sign the fair off. We had the local engineer come and inspect it and make sure everything was okay, which was good. And we signed it off, and we was away for the Mart this year. The Showman's Guild does a wonderful job across the country, because we have the 10 sections, as you probably know, and each section has all their committees, which have to deal with local authorities all over the country and places and issues if you lose a site or you're looking for new sites or whatever the case may be. So it's important the Guild works together, all them groups, like we do in the Eastern region now, and we will be discussing all our fairs in East Anglia area to see what needs to be done and what's got to be done, you know, because each year criteria has changed. With a lot of places do developments in street fairs in particular, you know, there may be issues come along that we have to deal with, so the committees deal with those. It's in the interest of keeping the industry alive and going at these places. Sometimes you can lose sites, you can lose a part of the fair, which, you know, could be detrimental to some of the members, so they can't go, and these things do happen from time to time. And as you see in them old pictures, the grounds in those days, the state of the ground we was working on, the things we was doing, and the memories, and that was when we used to winter on Harding's pits at Kings Lynn down the other end. We got up at 7 o'clock in the morning to come down to the Tuesday marketplace. We couldn't get off the site, it took us till 12 o'clock. And at that time I was on the committee as well, and myself and Charles Thurston, we put all the marks down with white paint, you know. And when we arrived, it was like 6 inches of snow. So everybody was shoveling and pushing and it was snowing when we arrived and got on there. So it was a bit of a struggle to get everything in and built up ready for the official opening with a short period of window that we have. You know, if it had been more severe, we'd have struggled to get ready for, you know, the 14th of February to be open. But wonderful memories and wonderful pictures, you know, when you look back and see yourself and see the equipment and see where you've come from since the 1770s to where we are today, is a vast improvement in all the equipment that we operate on, well, all over the country today, all the showmen. They're putting great investment in the rides and vehicles and everything, so, you know, but it brought back wonderful memories, you know, for myself in particular, because we was, you know, part of that at that time, like a lot of my fellow showmen was at that time. As you see, when you looked at them, you could see how much hard graft there was to build those rides up. You know, the men that were employed to work on them and the conditions that we was working in, it was a lot of hard graft, which today is much easier, much easier. The main difference is, there's not a lot of difference other than the equipment has got so much easier, where before every mortal thing on the grounds in the old days, every light bulb, we used to have tea chesters, the old tea chesters, we used to keep newspapers in them. You'd have to take every bulb out and pack them in, because on the road the vibration, it used to knock the filaments out. When you built up again and put them in, half the lights wouldn't work, so it was very, very time consuming in those days. You had to handle every piece of equipment. There was very little stuff that was built on a trailer mounted thing, so you had a truck to get in first, you had to back your truck in on a waltzer or a Noah's Ark, build up. Your fellow showman had to wait till you got built up to remove the trucks with the scambles or whatever off of the grounds, so then we could set the rest of the ground out for them to start building up. So it was, you know, a lot more physical and a lot more hard work, where today, you know, it's hydraulics, electronics, and things are so much easier for the young showman today than it was, you know, 40, 50 years ago. I've just talked about the past in my youth. The changes that took place, what you're now doing, in another 50 years' time, this will probably be old hat, you know, so we don't know where we're going. So it's very important what you're doing to record what's happening at the present time within our industry across the country, you know. So it's the modern age today, but in 20 years' time, like I say, who knows where we'll be. Pleased that people like yourself have taken great interest in our industry, from the pictures and screening you've done today. People could see their lost families and things from bygone years, and that is a wonderful thing to do, to record history, and I think that's important, and I thank you for doing that. Well, we've been fighting a long time to get a name and established on all the legal forms. There's never showman been on them. Well, I know the Guild for a long time has been working on that to get us recognised as showmen and done, you know, so I'm very pleased that things have moved forward and are moving forward in that respect. And what we do, we provide entertainment for the nation. I've done for nearly 1,000 years now, so that's what we are. So the word showman to us, we're very proud of, and very proud of our history. So I'm pleased, and I hope that the government and the powers to be still recognise us for what we are and what we've contributed to this country in the way of entertainment. Because even through the war years, the government did go to the Guild when it was appropriate, and we put fairs on, our ancestors, to boost morale in the country when things was, you know, we was in trouble with the 1914 war. So, I think we deserve a statutory, name and recognised for what we are, because we are a big community within the country. And we do these things. We do a lot of charity work all over the place. We do, as you've seen today. We've had 400 children down here today, what we've done things for, the teachers and the people and the mayor's over the moon. We do things and do a lot of charity work, but we don't go boasting about it. It happens and we do it. So we are a part of the country's history, actually.